So let's start with this question paper. This is your Jan 25 exam. Jan 2025 exam. See, enter. This was the question paper. The earlier part, till here it was all about income tax. Now this onwards it was all about your GST. Mohan Raj, Kerala, unregistered under GST, deals with supply of cosmetic items within Kerala. Within Kerala. Why? If he deals outside Kerala, then he has to take compulsory registration. So within Kerala, he ordered an iPhone for his son studying in Pune through online from an from an electronic commerce operator located in Delhi. He is purchasing it now for his son sitting in Pune, Maharashtra, and the supplier is sitting in Delhi. He gives his Kerala address for billing and his son's hostel address Maharashtra for delivery. So he's giving his address. He's giving his address. It is B2B supply or B2C supplies? B2B or B2C? B2C. The supplier dispatched, supplier in Delhi dispatched the ordered phone from the godown in Karnataka. So they are trying to bring many states. Right. He applied for registration in the name of Mohan Raj and Co., a proprietorship concern, and got registered in the state of Kerala. So later on, he did apply for registration in Kerala. During the month of June 24, he purchased goods of 5 lakhs for further supply. So this is purchase. This is his inward supply. Out of above purchases, he gifted stock worth 2 lakhs to his daughter who was there in the same line of business. So this is outward supply. He supplied stock valued at 1,50,000 rupees to an unregistered buyer in Kerala. This is again outward supply. Mohan Raj paid 10,000 towards rent to a local municipal corporation for the shop taken on rent at bus terminal in Kerala. Inward supply or outward supply? Paid rent. Inward supply. He is paying rent. Supply is by municipal corporation. It is inward supply. Wait. Supplier is government. Supply is renting. Louder. Renting. For renting, whether you're small or big will not be applicable for exemption. So it is covered by RCM. For renting of immovable property, the recipient is registered RCM. Now he is registered. It is RCM. He paid rent of 20,000 for a residential house property again taken on rent in Kerala. But the property was used for his renting of residential dwelling. Previous was government services. Now it is renting of residential dwelling for use of residence by registered person or unregistered person. Technically he is registered, but for his family he will not be treated as registered, he will be treated as unregistered. So this is his inward supply. Whether it will be RCM or exempted. RCM or exempted. So all these points we have discussed. Correct? All these points were discussed. RCM with exemption. All both the points were covered. All the above amounts are exclusive of taxes. Rates for goods is given as 6612 and for services given as 9918. Subject to the information above, conditions for ITC are complied with. So this is the question. This is the data available. This is your case study. A lot of data will not be relevant, etc., etc., but this is your question. Now, one by one. In respect of iPhone ordered and delivered, what is the place of supply? At that point of time when he purchased iPhone, he was registered or unregistered? Louder. So is it B2B or B2C? B2B or B2C? Later he became registered, but at that point of time it was B2C. What is the place of supply? What is the place of supply? So it is B2C, B2C, B2C. It is location of recipient, address of recipient bracket, only state if it is available. So which state is there? Recipient. Recipient. Which state he is there? Okay, let us read the point again. He ordered a phone for his son studying in Pune, Maharashtra through an online electronic commerce operator located in Delhi. So we are not interested in supplier, location of supply. We are only interested in place of supply. So that phone was dispatched from Godown in Karnataka, not relevant. What is the place of supply? He gave his Kerala address for billing and his son's hostel address for delivery. So bill to Kerala, ship to Maharashtra. So what is the place of supply? What is the place of supply? Answer is Kerala. But wait, I said you yesterday there is a problem in 2-3 places in this question paper. And if you see the answer, it is not Kerala given by them. It is Maharashtra given by them, which is incorrect. Which is incorrect. Why incorrect? Look at the language of section 10(1)(CA. That clearly tells the address which is given for invoice, and that need not be entire address, that merely can be a state. Merely can be a state. Right. We are not talking about, I first thought that this might be an error because it is an old question paper. Because this is a recent amendment, last 1 year, 1.5 years it has come. So in an old question paper, this answer would have been valid. Why? In an old question paper, where the movement terminates for delivery and all. Correct? Where the movement terminates for delivery. Where the movement terminates for, this would have been valid, but not safe. This is an incorrect answer which we have mailed to ICA and they are yet to revert. So we'll see what is the logic, why they have selected but this particular answer. Right, that is only in the first question there's a problem, second question there's a problem, but I'll tell what problem, and second question they themselves have said it is out of syllabus. Correct. So we'll stick to Kerala. We'll stick to Kerala is the right answer. Kerala is the right answer. I'm not going with ICA answer. No. Provisions are being re-verified, rechecked. Answer is only Kerala, and question has been revisited. The sequence of it was first he was unregistered. First he was. So we'll only go with B2C. We'll only go with B2C. Now coming back to the next question. Determine the value of outward supply including supply under RCM for Mohan Raj for June 24, on which he is going to pay tax. Determine the value. What is the value? What is the value on which he is going to pay tax? Value. So you have to see sales plus RCM. Sales plus RCM. What is the value? What is this? What is the sales figure? Whether giving to his daughter was sales? Giving to his daughter was sales? Why? Why? He is gifting it. That is the reason. Is it not actual? Is it not actual supply? No, it is not actual supply. Is it deemed supply? Deemed supply? Two scenarios are possible. First, if ITC is availed, surely it is deemed supply. We need not see whether related or unrelated. We need not even bother about it. If ITC is availed, surely it is deemed supply. If ITC is not availed, related person is defined in such a way where if you're talking about your spouse and children, spouse and he is giving to his child. For him, daughter is child. Spouse and children, it is unconditional. It is unconditional. Whether they are dependent, independent is not relevant. Dependent, independent is not relevant. So it is supply to related person. Supply to related person. Spouse and children. Brothers, sisters, parents, grandparents. If it was ulta, daughter giving to father would have been different. But now father is giving to, got the point? Right. So here it would be 2 lakhs. We don't know whether ITC is availed or not. Even if we don't know, it is not covered by para 1 of schedule 1. But still it is covered by para 2 of schedule 2. What is para 2 of schedule 2? Supply between related person and distinct person. What is the definition of related person? It includes members of the family. What is the definition of family? Spouse and children unconditionally. Unconditionally. Whether dependent or independent. Brothers, sisters, parents, grandparents conditionally. Then they should be wholly or mainly dependent. Clear? Next, he also sold 1,50,000. So he'll pay GST even on this. So these are his sales, outward supply. These are his sales, outward supply. And RCM. This is his inward supply, but he is going to pay under. So on what value is going to pay tax? 3,60,000. This, for reasons known to ICA, they have said that is out of syllabus. Might be first reason they are not clear with whether ITC is taken or not. Second reason, when you see the definition of related person, it is actually not so simple. Person shall be deemed to be related. So whether they are they are looking at from the angle of supplier recipient or recipient supplier is not clear, because person shall be deemed to be related if they are members of the same family. Members of the same family, and family includes spouse and children. So logically speaking, you have to look at from the eyes of father. Then it is fine. But they thought that even it could be looked otherwise. Therefore, what they have said for this question? Out of syllabus. So by default, everyone got marks. Everyone got the marks. But the right answer is 3,60,000. Why did we not include other supplies? One more inward supply was there, but it is not covered by RCM as it is exempt. Next, assume what is the amount of ITC that can be claimed by Mohan Raj for June 24, including, very simple question. Look at the inward supplies. What is the amount of ITC? What is the goods purchased? 5 lakhs. What is the rate for goods? 12%. Yes. It is 60. Okay. What is another inward supply? 10,000. 10,000. What is the rate for services? Rent is a service. 1,000 So what is the total ITC? Because RCM you will pay by one hand, get the credit in other hand. So you will pay but get the, and when you talk about credit, credit includes RCM ITC. What is the total credit? 61,800, and they have asked what? Each under, we have calculated in total. So it would be, and by the way, both these transactions, if nothing is given, this is very simply given. So obviously you would have purchased from Kerala, and this is very clearly within Kerala. CGST and SGST. CGST and SGST. So it would be 30,000. 30,000. So we got what answer? 61,800, which is including CGST and SGST, divided by 2, 30,900. Clear? This is your first case study. Only your first case study had one bouncer question and one question which we disagree with ICI. Rest all is very basic and simple points. Next case scenario. Moria and Co. registered under GST is engaged in textile manufacturing business in the state of Tamil Nadu. This textile manufacturing is relevant. For 17-18, due date of annual return was actually extended and it became 7th of February 2020. So this is actually a fact. It was extending. Finally, it became 7th of Feb 2020. But actually, it was filed on 7th of March. Due date was 7th of Feb 2020, but that particular client filed on 7th of March. No appeal or revision or investigation was pending. So this all actually is relevant for your how long you have to maintain your accounts and records. Now they supplied dhotis and saris to various state governments during the month of March 24. They supplied saris worth 2,80,000 including GST 12%. So what is the value excluding GST? 2,80,000 multiplied by 100 divided by 2 lakh. Okay. They supplied dhotis worth 3 lakh excluding. So now it is excluding GST, means amount is directly 3 lakhs. They supplied both dhotis and saris to government of Andhra Pradesh for Telugu New Year at 3,50,000 including GST, means 3,50,000 multiplied by 100 divided by 112. 3,12,500. So now we have three figures: 2,50,000, 3 lakh and 3,12,500. During the month of April 24, this is next month, the firm made wrong availment of excess ITC under IGST 8 for 1 lakh. During the time period starting from excess availment up to reversal, the balance in credit ledger were 70,000 CGST, 20,000 SGST and 20,000 IGST. You had balance, but you'll have balance in different heads. The firm identified the wrong availment and finally it is reversed. But from the date of availment till the date of reversal, they had balance in these credit ledger as 70 plus 20 plus 20. What is the wrong availment, by the way? 1 lakh IGST. What is the total credit in all of them together? So when you see for interest, you will not see headwise, because headwise you will get different balance because of the method of utilization. You don't have your control. You don't have your, first obviously IGST will be fully used. Correct? So it is not in your control. So you have to see total. That's a circular telling that when you're calculating interest and when you're trying to see whether on what value you have to pay interest or you are not required to pay interest, you will not see each head, you will see total. You will see total. And it's logical. I have taken wrong IGST credit. But first to be utilized is always IGST credit. That is the sequence. That is the sequence. Ignore the breakup of tax rate between CGST, SGST, IGST for GST TDS purposes. So, for TDS purposes, you ignore the breakup of tax. You just tell in total. You just tell in total. Now, first question. Mauri and Co will be required to retain books of accounts. Till which year? How long you have to maintain your books of accounts? 72 months. Technically 6 years. From which date? Due date of annual return or actual date of annual return? Due date or actual date? Due date or actual date? So your 72 months will start from 7th of February and not from 7th of March. Which is 6 years. Will start from 7th of February and not from 7th of. When you filed annual return is not relevant. What was the due date is relevant. 72 months will start from that. So 72 months means 6 years. So 7th of February 2026. Clear? This is from your accounts and records. Determine the gross amount of TDS. They don't want CGST, SGST, IGST, total amount of TDS which will be deducted by the recipients in respect of supplies made to various. Deducted by recipients, recipient who are recipient? Government. Different governments are the recipient. In the first case, recipient was Tamil Nadu government. In the second case, again it was Tamil Nadu government. But in the third case, it was Andhra government. It was Andhra government. Now please tell me, TDS will be on what? Whether TDS will be on 2,50,000? No. The contract value there was not more than 2,50,000. Remember that more than. I said it's not more than or equal to this. So TDS not applicable. Next case, applicable. Last case, and look at ICI. ICI has geared up. It has gone a game up. Just for the sake of confusion, for the first two cases, they have said that Tamil Nadu. But they are two different contracts. Read the sentence carefully. Supplied saris worth 2,80,000 including GST to government of Tamil Nadu for Tamil Nadu New Year distribution. So that is a separate tender. That is a separate. Supplied dhotis worth 3 lakhs excluding GST to government of Tamil Nadu for any scheme distribution, some scheme. Whether these both will be under the same contract or different contracts. Normally, these both will be under. Clear? Clear? So what is the value? 6 lakh? 6 lakh? What is the rate of TDS? 12,000? It's 12,250. It's 12,250. Clear? Clear? Next question I think I have answered indirectly while explaining the circular. In respect of excess claim of ITC under IGST, the firm would be liable to pay interest on excess ITC availed. 0. Why? Interest is not on wrong availment, it is on wrong, but it never utilized it. Before it was reversed, finally when it reversed, the balance in credit ledger was always more than 1 lakh. What is the wrong availment? 1 lakh. The balance always remained more than. So what is the interest? Nil. And question is very carefully drafted. Question has clearly said, during the time period starting from excess availment, right from the day when it was availed till the day it is reversed, the balance was always more than 1 lakh. The balance was always more than. So we are not even entering into the calculation of interest. Next, I gave you the list of important services. By the way, this list of important services was not given this time. This list of important services that was explained to you, 8 services, was shared to the last crash course board telling that these are the 8 services. And at that point of time, Jan question paper was not released. And I'm telling repeatedly, ICA focuses on these 8 services. On these 8 services. Exceptions are there. There are exceptions. Entertainment was there. Entertainment was there. This question is based on entertainment. Right. Padmini, a renowned Kathak artist and registered person under GST, provides following information regarding the activities carried out by her for the month of June. For the month of fees received for training in Kathak. Any fees for any cultural or artistic activity is exempted. Even coaching in sports is exempted, but there's a condition for coaching in sports. It should be by section 12AA trust. But the condition for 12AA trust is not attached to coaching in cultural activities. If you go and look back at the exemption, coaching services for cultural activity is exempted whether by 12AA trust or private person. But coaching, training or coaching in sports is exempted only if it is a trust registered under section. So the same question was given from the angle of cricket. This would have been taxable. This would have been taxable. Next, received from a TV channel for appearing in one of the shows as guest anchor. It's taxable. It is taxable. If at all you're receiving from just for appearing on a show, then it is a brand ambassador concept. It is taxable. It is taxable. So brand ambassador, the moment it comes, it is taxable. Next, receipt for the performance of Kathak. Now, just a performance. There's no question of brand ambassador. But. What is the condition for exemption? Classical art form, true. Kathak, the stick, less than 1.5 lakhs. Not less than, technically less than or equal to 1.5 lakhs. Less than or, but what amount is received? See, the previous point is taxable because brand ambassador. This point is taxable because value. Because it is the value. And the last point is taxable because fusion of Western and classical. So all these three are taxable. All these three are taxable. What is the amount? 6,70,000. This one entry is so favored by ICI. Repeatedly this has been tested. Those who have actually worked out question papers and done it, you'll know that this comes repeatedly. This entry comes repeatedly. Right. Next, Alpha Way Industry is a registered person dealing in supply of taxable goods all over India, has an aggregate turnover of 6.5 crores in preceding financial year. For HSN, that's the criteria. If your previous year aggregate turnover is up to 5 crores, B2B 4 digits, B2C optional. But if your aggregate turnover is more than 5 crores in previous financial year, whether B2B or B2C, 6 digits. So here it is more than 5 crores, whether it is B2B or B2C. First ruled out, 4 is ruled out, it is only 6 digits. Whether 6 digits will be required only for B2B or both B2B and B2C. Both B2B and B2C. If I change the question and I tell that the aggregate turnover in previous year was 3.75 crores, then Answer would have been A. 4 digits only for B2B, because B2C it is optional. Clear? So all these questions are then MCQs are done. Now basic questions. Basic questions, very normal questions are there. Again, just the way we discussed yesterday, be very clear. Outward supply or inward supply, taxable or exempt, RCM or no RCM. So that area you have to be very, very clear. Galaxy Q Private Limited, a registered person in Gujarat, is engaged in various lines of businesses, is providing the following details. Supply of latest technology laptop with touchscreen option to managing director's friend. Managing director's friend. Open market value is 90,000, but as he is managing director's friend, it is applied for 60,000. Yes. What are the basic conditions? What is the value? Basically, it's question of valuation. Louder. Emotional. Why 90,000? Why? Is it? What are the two conditions for your basic valuation? Basic condition. Then it is transaction value. What are basic conditions? Unrelated person price is the whether managing data friend is unrelated or related. Louder. You are caught by your emotion, and that is the reason I want you to work on your own. Though you don't have valuation rules, but still emotionally you altogether said 90,000. First of all, unrelated person. Second, price is 60,000 is the seat. Price is all consideration. And if both the conditions are satisfied, what is the assessable value? What is the transaction value? What is transaction value? Price paid or payable by the recipient. What is the price paid or payable by the recipient? This was a trap, and emotionally you were caught. This was only a trap. Got that? Got that? It is 60,000. Next. This is outward supply, and outward supply is 60,000. Supply printed letter cards to MK Industries, who is a registered person in Gujarat. Logos design was supplied by MK Industries. Out of 5 lakhs, material cost was 4 lakhs and printing was 1 lakh. Balance cost means 1 lakh. This is actually given in circular. It is about composite supply. Whether card is principal supply or printing is principal supply. This is also outward supply. Whether card is principal supply or printing is principal supply. Card is principal supply or printing is principal supply. This is a composite supply. This is a composite supply. And what is principal supply? Paper or printing? No. It is card which is principal supply. Why? Because it is talking about printed letter cards. It's already printed. It's already ready with me. It's already ready with me. What you have given is, okay, on this card, I'm just putting your logo. It is just like envelopes. It's already ready with me. I'm selling you the envelopes. You tell, okay, in this envelope, please put my logo. Please put my logo. It would have been printing if the entire content was given by the customer MK Industries, then printing would have started. Then what you said, printing would have been? Then printing would have been? Difference is clear, right? So the letters were already ready. The envelopes are already ready. They are ready for sale. It is okay. I'll make it simple. Do you think that the wedding cards that you are going to purchase for your, say, some of the family members of yours are going to get is having wedding in next few months? Wedding cards are selected by you, then they are printed. They are already, you select one, that's already a stock which is ready. Correct? Correct. Then the content that you give is printed. What are the principles of supply? Cards. You don't pay, supposing it is a very high value wedding card, 300 rupees per card. Do you pay for printing 300 rupees? No. It's for the card. It's already ready. It's already ready. Clear? This is about composite supply. And what is the principal supply? What is the principal supply? This is composite supply, and principal supply is equal to card. Next, transportation of passengers by omnibus through eco. Is it outward supply? Yes. The question is whether 9.5 will come or not come. If 9.5 will come, supplier will not pay, eco will pay. If 9.5 will not come, supplier will pay. Whether 9.5 will come or not come. No, 9.5 will not come because the supplier is of supply through omnibus, and supplier is a company. Supplier is a. So this is not covered by section FCM case. It is a FCM case. Next, catering services to Excel University of Patna, which is recognized by University Grant Commission for giving recognized qualification. This is all dealing with exemption. Giving security services, catering services, transportation services is exempt. But when it is given to category A educational institution. What is category A educational institution? Category A education is preschool education and education up to higher secondary school or equivalent. But this is not preschool. This is all college or university. So, is this taxable or exempt? Is this taxable or exempt? Why? University. It's not talking about preschool education or education up to higher secondary school or equivalent. Next, made supply of goods in territorial waters to Blue Waters Incorporation, registered in the state of Maharashtra. Such place, this was place of supply. Such place of territorial waters is 5 nautical miles from Gujarat and 7 nautical miles from. So what is the place of supply? What is the place of supply? Supplier is in. Where is the supplier? Place of supply is also. Supplier is in Gujarat. Place of supply is not Maharashtra. Place of supply is also Gujarat. Place of supply is also Gujarat. Whenever you're talking about supply in territorial waters, what is the answer? It is of goods. It is of goods. So the termination of the goods will be at this territorial waters. But such places located where? Located where? Near to Gujarat or near to Maharashtra? We'll go with Gujarat. Next. Now it is all about inward supply. Purchase goods from DK, composition scheme dealer. So it is about inward supply or outward supply? Inward supply. Additional information. During the course of filing invoices, accountant identified an invoice of March 24 issued by Mahajan, whose residential house was taken on rent for managing director of the company for his residential use. Invoice was 50,000 excluding tax. No payment has been made for this particular invoice. By the way, which month are we talking about? Which month are we talking about? May. And this was identified. This was dated March, but identified now. In filing, it is identified now. All figures above are given exclusive of GST. All are intrastate supply unless unless place of recipients are given. All the conditions for ITC have been satisfied. Goods rates are given as 6, 6, 12%. Service rate is given as, this was relevant for that card and printing. If it is card, it is goods. If it is printing, it is correct. This was very much relevant. Calculate the liability. Calculate the liability. By the way, this particular point, this is untaxable, exempt or RCM? Huh? Exemption is only and only when it is a proprietorship concern and it is taken for proprietor for his family purposes. It is not for a company. Exemption is only when it is a proprietorship concern and the proprietor takes a residence on rent, not for the business, not for staff quarters, not for guest house, but for his family. Then exemption is available. This is not a proprietorship concern. It is taken by the company for managing director. So whether company is registered, who's going to pay for this? Company or managing director? Company. Who's going to pay for this? Company. Who's going to pay for this? Company. Is it residential or renting of residential dwelling? Yes. Use for residence? Yes. By registered person. By got that point? You got that point? So you're talking about by recipient which is registered. That point of exemption will not be applicable, but because that is applicable only for a proprietorship concern when he takes for his family. Though he is registered technically for that purposes, he will be treated as unregistered person. Now let us work out. Let us only see the answer from here itself. First point, outward supply. Whether GST will be charged? Output tax, whether GST will be charged? Yes, GST will be charged. On what value? 60,000. And if nothing is given, it is CGST, SGST. If it is goods, what rate you will take? We will not take 90,000. We have discussed in detail. If you see the question, we have already analyzed all the answers. Will you go with 90,000 or 60,000? We will go with 60,000 transaction value. And goods, what is the rate? 6%, 6%. Second point. First we'll answer here itself. First point is CGST, SGST, 6%, 6%, 60,000. Second point. Is it CGST, SGST or IGST? Is it CGST, SGST or IGST? Again, the recipient is there in Gujarat. Recipient is there in location supplier, Gujarat. Recipient is there in Gujarat. So it is CGST, SGST. So CGST, SGST. Value is 5 lakhs. 5 lakhs is also freeze. Rate of tax. Goods 66 or services 99. Goods or service. What is the principal supply? What is the principal supply? So what are you going to take? What are you going to take? You have to explain the concept of composite supply and you have to conclude that principal supply is card. Therefore, the rate that we are going to take is that of principal supply 6% and 6%. 6% and 6%. Next, you are talking about supply through omnibus. Though it is via eco, whether 9.5 is applicable or FCM is applicable. 9.5 is applicable or FCM is applicable? FCM, no 9.5. Whether the supplier will pay or eco will pay. Whether it will come in computation of supplier or eco. It will come in computation of supplier. It will come in computation of, if nothing is given, you will take CGST, SGST or IGST. Question has said if nothing is given, go with CGST, SGST. Go with, it is goods or service. It is goods or service. The service what rate? So what is the value? 2 lakh 12 lakh 58,000. You will take CGST, SGST 9% and 9%. And you will explain why it is not covered by section 9.5. You will explain why it is not covered by section 9.5. Next. Supply of goods in territorial waters. So what is the value? 4 lakh 50,000. Place of supply? Gujarat. So what you will take? Either it is goods or services? Goods. So what rate? 6%. Rather. Okay, 4 lakh 50,000, 6%. You have to explain that provision of territorial waters, and you have to tell that Gujarat is near. Place of supply is where the movement of goods terminates for delivery, but that termination is in sea, and which is near? Gujarat is near. You will explain that and write the answer. In between, we have left one point: catering services. So the catering services was in between. Yes. Catering services. Service means 9%. Is it taxable or exempt? It is taxable. But wait, where is the performance? It is in Bihar. It is in catering, section 12. Performance based. Location of performance. Where is the performance? So food will be given where? Supplier is located in Gujarat. And performance will be there in? So CGST, SGST or IGST? Catering services, 2,12,000. As it is service, 18%. For the first time we are seeing IGST. You have to explain section 12 and you have to tell that place of supply is location of performance, and performance is there in Patna, Bihar. Therefore, LOS Gujarat, POS Bihar, IGST. It is IG. Also, you have to explain why it is not exempt. Why it is not exempt. All the outward supplies we are done with. Correct? Now let us talk about inward supply. Inward supply, will you get any credit on 3,35,000? Why? You have purchased from? If you purchase from composition scheme dealer, he cannot even charge tax on his bill of supply. Forget about taking the credit. Forget about. So what will be the credit amount? What will be the input tax credit? What will be the input tax credit for the goods purchased from composition scheme dealer? It will be 0. Now you're talking about what is the leftover point? Your RCM. What is the invoice date for RCM? Now a doubt will come whether we have to go, because we are calculating for the month of May. Should we take it or not? Now please remember, what is the time of supply for RCM? What is the time of supply for RCM? And this is a service. Louder. 61st day from the date of invoice, which is 31st of March, which will come as 31st of May, or date of payment, and payment is not yet made, which means payment will be surely made on or after June. The question clearly tells payment is not yet. So what is the time of supply? Whichever is earlier. Do not undermine ICI. So they have interconnected your time of supply. And they have said that, see, time of supply for an invoice in March will come in only in May. And why they have given payment is not made? Because time of supply is 61 days from the date of document date of supplier, or payment, whichever is. So it will fall in the month of May. So RCM will be calculated in the month of May. Now when you're calculating RCM, is it goods or service? Service. What is the rate? 18%. Whether it is CGST, SGST or IGST? If nothing is given, so you will pay RCM by cash and take in credit. What is the amount? 50,000. So you will pay by cash and take in credit. You will pay by cash. You will pay by cash and take in credit. You are subtracting it. Never follow ICA's pattern of working out. You will go mad. You will go crazy. You will not understand how they are working out. Always have a standard pattern. Output tax, RCM, ITC and net output tax to be paid by cash. In the first table, whatever figures we have worked out will come here. Outward supplies. Outward supplies. Whatever figures we have worked out will come here. In the second table, this RCM will come here. This RCM will separately come. In the third table, ITC will include RCM ITC. So other ITC plus RCM ITC. Other ITC plus, and in the fourth table, please split into two. RCM to be paid by cash and net output tax. What is net output tax? Gross output tax less ITC. When you do less ITC, you will write in 3 points: IGST, CGST, SGST. Finally, you will get net output tax to be paid by cash. So this gross output tax, let us number the table. 1, 2, 3, 4. This RCM to be paid by cash will come from second table. This gross output tax will come from first table. This ITC subtraction will not be exactly equal to third table, but you will derive from third table. First IGST, ITC fully used, then CGST, then SGST. Then that is the sequence, right? We'll go with it. Because this ITC table will include RCM ITC. Will include RCM ITC. Right? Then you will get this answer. Net output tax to be paid in cash. So this answer you will get. Now this we'll call it as say 5. Last part. Final answer to be paid in cash is this area and this area. This is the total payment which you are going to pay by RCM portion paid by cash and net output tax paid by cash. If you add both, this is the total payment paid by cash. Because ICA will keep changing the pattern of tables for different questions. I repeat, it is a very simple thing. Gross output tax. Then don't write ITC. Second table is RCM. Why? Third table is ITC, which includes RCM ITC. You will pay by cash and get in ledger. Fourth table is total payment by cash. Split into two. RCM to be paid by cash. RCM to be paid by cash. Then second part, gross output tax less ITC, net output tax to be paid by cash. And as I said, never stop at this. Have an extra calculation, ITC, for a check whether you're making some silly mistakes or not. Just for a check. And what is the total payment made by cash? Total payment made by cash. It is RCM paid by cash plus net output tax paid by cash. This will be total payment made by cash. Standard pattern. You will, this might look lengthier, but it is not really so. It is actually easier than I say. Second, you will avoid all the silly mistakes. You will avoid all the silly mistakes. Maybe for this question, you might get a right answer here because ITC, how they have subtracted ITC? Just in a single line. Just in a single line, because there was no ifs and buts. That utilization formula was not much required. But if it is a complicated calculation where ITC is to be used in proper sequence, then finished. Then this method will not help you out. Right? This is your question and answer. So first question will be a challenge question. Rather, I forgot to tell you yesterday while solving your September 24 paper. Always make sure that the first question you don't take first. After MCQs, Please work on other questions. Even if you know first question, finally take it in the end. Reason, it will be lengthy. You might spend too much time in working out and you might find very less time for calculating, for working out other questions. So please do not take in the beginning. Are you guys clear with this understanding? Now next questions from here onwards are straightforward piece of cake questions. Now if you see the next question, Gamma Multiplex, which is registered in the state of Punjab, gives the following information for booking movie tickets. Tickets only 200. Combo offer 350. Tickets plus snacks. And snacks only 250. Right? I'm not entering into the calculation part because you can easily calculate it. The question is, for the month of April, Gamma Multiplex has sold 10,000 tickets in combo offer, 2,500 tickets only, and 1,000 tokens only for snacks. And they have given different rates. What you will do? For snacks, what you will do? Let us calculate it here. For snacks, 1,000 tokens multiplied by 250 per token. This is the value. What is the rate for snacks? Rate for snacks is given as, I'm not going into serious. Rate of snacks is 5%. It is 5%. Now, for only tickets, how many tickets? 2,500. What is the only ticket price? 200. What is the rate for only tickets? Service of exhibition and cinema. What is the rate? 18. You get asked. Next, for combo offer, how many tickets? 10,000. What is the combo offer price? You have to just match. It is match the following. You have to just correct and select that above figure. 350. What is the rate? Now here comes the concept of, please don't give me a wrong. What is the principal supply? Ticket or popcorn? Don't tell me we go for popcorn. Ticket or popcorn? So what is the rate? Done. 5 marks. Even if you are making mistake in composite supply, which is far from, even if you think you cannot make a mistake, right? Because the moment you think of movie and snacks, what is principal supply? It is movie. Right? Other two questions you have got it correctly. Simple. Over. Right. So yesterday while solving, you might have found that ABC analysis doesn't work out. But I said you certain things. There are certain things which will surely come. Even in the previous question, that composite supply came in. Even here, composite supply is a separate question per se. It's a separate question per se. Over. So that is the answer. Next, basic questions. Question, I'll solve out answers directly in the question itself. Basic, very simple and basic questions. Newton Limited, a registered person in Madhya Pradesh, provides the following details for the month of June. He has paid remuneration to Mr. Madan, rendered service in the capacity of director, TDS under 192, and the company has deducted TDS under 192 and 194J. Both gross payments was 8,50,000 as salary and 11,50,000 as. So which one is taxable and which one is not taxable? When you pay it as a salary, 8,50,000, it is not taxable. So what will be the taxable part here? 11,50,000. Do not stop here. It is a service under RC. Director Madan will not pay, Newton Limited will pay. Second, paid rent to Indian Railways for a property located in the same state, Madhya Pradesh, which was taken on lease by the company. Government. All your thought process will come. ICA plays with it. Taxable or exempt? Is it covered by that exemption list of platform tickets, etc., etc.? It is taxable. RCM or FCM? Is it taxable? Yes, entire 1,25,000 is taxable. Question is RCM or FCM? PRPT, Post, Railways, Port, Transport, will never have any answer called as. It will always be emotionally, you will be going towards RCM. If at all it was any other department of government, answer would have been RCM. If at all it was any other department of government, answer would have been. But why it is FCM? Why it is FCM? Railways. It is because of Indian Railways. Recall that I stressed on that point. PRPT, never RCM. PRPT, never. Always. Always. Next. Paid to XYZ Securities Private Limited for providing security services. Security agency is not registered. Security services. First, whether any exemption is there for security services? No. Entire 5,35,000 will be taxable. RCM, FCM. For RCM, FCM, first condition, supplier should be other than body corporate. Supplier should be other than body corporate. Now the fact whether supplier is registered or not registered is not at all relevant. Supplier here himself is a ICA is trying to confuse you to the core. So ICA is purposefully given that he is not registered. What if he is registered? I'm not bothered. If he is registered, not registered, that is his headache. Whether supplier is a body corporate or other than body corporate. So whether RCM will ever come? I need not go to second condition and check whether I am registered under regular scheme, not only for the purpose of TDS. I need not even check that. So whether it is FCM or RCM. Though supplier is not registered, it is his headache. But it will not come under RCM. Next. Paid fees to local municipal corporation for renewal of company's factory license. 4,800. 4,000. Whether it will come in PML? No. PRPT? No. Others. Out of all the exemption, non-business entity, government to government, government to non-business entity, small business entity, small value, small value, this will be exempt up to exempt. Now the figures are excluding GST, rate is 18%, turnover of Nutan Limited is 67 lakhs in previous financial. This is irrelevant data. That 67 lakhs is totally irrelevant data. Totally irrelevant data. But they have given you. So that you focus on it and you try to evaluate whether it is relevant or irrelevant. Now, you are required to calculate GST payable by Nutan Limited under? Don't you think that we have got the answer? What is the answer? Only first. Second is under FCM. Third is under FCM. Fourth is exempt. Fourth is exempt. So your RCM will be only on 11,50,000 multiplied by what is the rate given? 9%. 9%. This is the only calculation. All other figures will be 0. All other figures will be 0. Clear? This was a pakka question based on exemption and RCM, and all the points which are there in this question we have evaluated. While revision, fully evaluated. Next, place of supply. Again, we'll try to find the answer directly. Maxi Pharmaceuticals registered at Jaipur, Rajasthan. Hires Sangam Events Limited, a registered person in Madhya Pradesh. So, where is the location of supplier? Where is the location of supplier? Madhya Pradesh. Where is the place of supply? Wait. For an event to be held in? For an event to be held in? Event to be held in Gujarat. Event. Organization of event. Event, what is the place of supply? If the recipient is registered. If the recipient is, who is the recipient? Who is the recipient? Who's the, yes, Rajasthan. Maxi Pharmaceuticals is recipient registered in supplier is Events Sangam or Sargam Events Limited at Madhya Pradesh, but recipient is Maxi Pharmaceuticals company which is there in Rajasthan. So place of supply is not Gujarat. It is not location of event. If the recipient is registered, location of recipient. Where is the recipient? Where is the recipient? Rajasthan. If it was not registered, then your answer would have been Gujarat. Your answer would have been okay. Next, PSL Limited, a registered person in Chandigarh, Punjab, orders from CMR Limited, a registered person in Ranchi. Please be very clear with supplier. Who's the supplier here? CMR Limited, a registered person in Jharkhand. A registered person in Jharkhand. PSL Limited is the recipient. It is ordering for goods. It is ordering for delivery of goods to MST Limited, a person in Ranchi, Jharkhand. Remember A, B, C? Remember A, B, C? Now, let us fix A, B, C. Now, who's the A? CMR, Jharkhand. CMR, Jharkhand. He is selling to whom? He is selling to whom? PSL, Punjab. PSL, Punjab. But he is delivering to whom? He is delivering to whom? MHT. This is very important. You know the answer, but you have to figure out who is selling to whom by the language. By the language. Now, the moment I give this chart, answer is clear. What is the place of supply for the first transaction? What is the place of supply for the first transaction? It is Punjab. CMR is selling to PSL. PSL said, don't send it to me. Directly send to my customer who's there in your own state, Jharkhand. Send it to MST. So, CMR to PSL. Place of supply is? Place of supply is? Punjab. Place of supply is? Punjab. Chandigarh? Punjab. And PSL to MHT. Place of supply is? Rather, what was the location of supplier? So, first transaction is IGST. What was the location of supplier for the second transaction? What was the location of supplier? Who's the supplier? PSL. Who's the supplier? For the second transaction. For the second transaction, who's the supplier? PSL, Punjab. And what is the place of supply? Jharkhand. Second is also IGST. Finally, revenue will come back to Jharkhand, but via Punjab. First, revenue will go from Jharkhand to Punjab. Then revenue will come back from Punjab to Jharkhand. There's nothing but A, B, C that we took. A, B, C that we took. Knowing is one thing. First, you have to apply. What is the question trying to tell? Figure it out. Then try to work it out. Very, very basic questions. I gave all the ABC analysis. This question paper proves ABC analysis so important. Whatever we have discussed in this 2 days, everything is actually here. We have not got any new point per se. Now look at this question. Rameshwar Industries engaged in manufacturing of semiconductors in the state of Assam. So it is into manufacturing and Assam. Assam state is important. And intrastate supplies. Intrastate, which means it can enjoy the limit of 40 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 10 lakhs. Assam will come in which category? Goods Assam. Goods Assam. Goods Assam. So we will see which category. So I will not see first point, I will not see second point, I will not see third point. I will not even waste my time and see. I know it is Assam. I know it is goods. I'll go with. So when my turnover crossed 40 lakhs. 28th April. I am liable for registration only on 28th April. When I applied for registration. Did I apply within 30 days? When I got my registration certificate. Now what will be my effective date of registration? Did I apply within 30 days? Yes. What is my effective date of registration? Louder. Done? Okay. Second. What is the period for which I will be raising revised tax invoice? What is the period for which? For which period I will be raising revised tax invoice? I am liable for registration on 28th April and I am getting registration on to May 29. So for this period, I was not able to give to my customer invoice with my. Now for this period, I'll be giving my. So this is the period for which I'll give revised tax invoice. Correct? And what is the time limit for me to give revised tax invoice? 1 month. 1 month from where? 1 month from where? 1 month from 29th of May, which will end on 29th of June. 29th of June. Simple. You had to remember the concept of revised tax invoice. Automatically things will come. Automatically. Worth 5 marks. Next. Can I do revision or rectification? Can I rectify? Yes, I can rectify my errors. Is there any exception for rectification where I cannot do rectification? Yes. If the errors or omissions are found by officer during audit, inspection, etc. Is there any time limit? Yes. 30th November of next financial year or actual date of annual return, whichever is earlier. Last question. We'll go reverse. Can you write this answer? Any state taxes which are subsumed inside GST? What are the state taxes that is subsumed inside GST? VAT, sales tax, purchase tax, entry tax, luxury tax, advertisements, betting, gambling, lottery, entertainment tax by state government. By local authority still alive. Rule 138E will not allow you to generate EV. This area we did not discuss actually. Will not allow you to generate EV bill. When? If you are a non-filer of return or if your registration is suspended. Two categories. If you are non-filer of return or if your registration is, but non-filer of return for 2 periods, for 2 tax period, which means 1 and 3B not filed for 2 months or 2 quarters. 2 months if you are under MRMB, 2 months. If you are under QRMB, 2 quarters. If you are under MRMB, 2 months. If you are under QRMB, 2 quarters. If at all you are a composition taxable person, you have not filed CMP 08, not written payment form. You have not filed CMP 08 for 2 quarters. For 2 quarters. If you are NRTP, you have not filed GST 5 for 2 months. Everywhere 2. Everywhere it is fixed 2. RTP, CTP will file 1 and 3B. Not file 1 and 3B either for 2 months or for 2 quarters. Don't try to equate them. 2 months or 2 quarters. Composition taxable person, yearly return, but they do not wait for year. Quarterly payment. You have not filed quarterly payment form CMP 08 for 2 quarters. 2 quarters. NRTP, monthly return. You have not filed GST 5 for 2 months. This is discussed in your 138E. So non-filers of return for 2 periods and suspension of registration. You cannot generate e-way bill. And this is a circular which is very rarely asked, but they have asked a circular, technical circular, where they have said that what is the time of supply when you are talking about national highway projects of National Highway Authority of India, where the model is hybrid annuity model. It is nothing but a continuous supply of services. Continuous supply of services. Then you have to explain for continuous supply of services. For what is the due date for your invoice? Due date of invoice depends on contract. Due date of invoice depends on, if the contract tells due date of payment, it is your due date of invoice. And the contract in fact tells due date of payment. So that is your due date of invoice. So step number 1 is due date of invoice. Step number 2, if you have raised invoice in time, it is actual date of invoice or payment in books, payment in banks, whichever is earlier. If you have not raised invoice in time, it is not due date of invoice, it is date of provision of service. And the date of provision of service, in this case, it is difficult to find date of provision of service. So they tell that date of provision of service, you treat it as due date of payment itself, whenever the contract tells. Or actual date of payment in books or bank, whichever is earlier. So this was a out of box question, rarest of the rare question. Barring this question, and by the way, this was an option. This was an only an, you could have ignored it. You could have very well ignored the same. This was your question paper of Jan 2025. Right? Most of you would have written Jan 25. This was your question paper. The difficulty was, this actually was a very simple paper. So when students came and said it is difficult, I said, no, it's not difficult. Might be wordings. It's only wordplay. How you have understood the words. Have you understood the question? If you have understood the question, things are actually very, very simple. Right. This completes your entire discussion of your entire question paper of Jan 2025. Right. So we have taken 2 sample papers to make sure that you understand how to crack your exams. And by the way, both the papers are your exam papers. One was a high level category. This was actually an average paper. Very average paper. Right. Thank you. Thank you for your time. All the very best. If you have spared so much time, maybe Ganeshna is waiting for a photograph. We'll spare another 1 or 2 minutes and then we'll leave. Thank you.